You're watching Euronews now. Here's a look at our top stories this morning. Firefighters battle wildfire blazes in Spain, Portugal, Greece and France as the mercury keeps rising and countries issue extreme heat weather warnings. Kyiv cleans house. President Zelensky fires his top spy chief and prosecutor general under accusations of treason. And European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen visits Azerbaijan, a move to close a deal with Baku to increase gas imports into the EU.
Firefighters are battling to contain wildfires sweeping across southwest Europe. Blazes raging in France, Greece, Portugal and Spain have forced thousands of residents and holidaymakers to flee. The situation deteriorated in the southwestern Gironde region in France near Bordeaux, where firefighters were tackling forest fires that have devoured nearly 11,000 hectares of vegetation since Tuesday. The wildfires in France forced more than 16,000 people to decamp. 7 emergency shelters have been set up for evacuees. In Spain, a fireman died from burns while battling a blaze in the northwestern province of Zamora on Sunday. Spanish authorities reported around 20 wildfires are still raging out of control in different parts of the country, from the south to Galicia in the far northwest, where blazes have destroyed thousands of hectares of land. More than 80 municipalities of 10 districts in Portugal have warned of a maximum danger of rural fire. More than 700 operatives are fighting 4 active fires, notably in the east of the country.
Across Europe, countries are issuing extreme heat warnings with temperatures set to soar above 40 degrees centigrade across many parts of the continent. Well, to discuss what this sweltering weather means and how long it's here to stay, Mark Perrington, senior scientist from the Copernicus Department at the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecast, joins me now. Good morning. So to say that things are dramatic right now across Europe is probably describing it lightly. What does your work say, especially on fire and air pollution? Take us through the wildfires across Europe and the damage they're causing.
Okay, yeah, good morning. So we're seeing these heat wave impacts across southern Europe and now extending into northern parts of Europe, across Spain and Portugal and northern Morocco in recent weeks or the last week or so. There's been really some extreme wildfires which have developed and have been burning now for quite a number of days, including very large ones in the Gironde in the southwest of France. In the summer, we'd expect it to be hot and dry anyway, but these extreme heat events just really exacerbate what we see in terms of fires, in terms of their duration and intensity and the scale and the rate at which they can grow. That produces a lot of smoke pollution, which impacts on air quality. But also with the hot weather, we also expect to see high rates of pollution related to the production of ozone, because we have stagnant conditions, very fast chemistry. And so all the precursor emissions from road traffic, industry and everything, they can combine and under the heat really produce high values of air pollution.
So how much pollution, then, is this dumping into the atmosphere through all of these extreme, weather conditions that we're seeing now?
In terms of local air quality, we're seeing really this large area where we see the really high temperatures, and we're seeing then very high values of ozone, which is degrading air quality. So it's quite localized pollution, and it'll dissipate when the heat wave dissipates as well. But we're really seeing this large area of Europe being affected this way.
Britons flocked to Brighton Beach at the weekend amid warnings that unusually high temperatures are forecast for the beginning of the week. The Met Office has issued a first ever red warning for extreme heat, cautioning there was a risk to life. Temperatures in southern England could exceed 40 degrees Celsius on Monday or Tuesday for the first time. Scientists are blaming climate change.
I used to be one of those people that I think that all just politics and all that. But now I think it's serious, and yes, we definitely need to do something about it to save our planet and save the generations that to come.
Well, it's terrifying.
Climate change.
Yeah, because last year, where we live was like completely flooded with rain, and we were thinking how different it is today from last year.
Yeah,
Like, that scares me a lot, and it's real.
The heat wave is sweeping across Europe and has already claimed lives. In Spain, there have been 360 deaths from the heat, and in Portugal, as many as 659 have died over the past week. Temperatures in some cities, including Madrid, have reached 46 degrees. Midday France has now extended its orange heatwave warning to 16 departments. The extreme heat is accompanied by a wildfire crisis that has prompted thousands to evacuate parts of France, Spain and Portugal.
A Russian attack on the Bakhmut district in the Donetsk region has injured 6 people, including 3 children, according to Kyiv military reports. In the nearby city of Toretsk, residents told of explosions and a storm of black smoke and red fire as Russia continues its assault in the country. Kyiv has accused Moscow of launching fresh strikes on multiple residential areas in eastern and southern Ukraine. Meanwhile, in a surprise move, Ukraine's president has fired his top spy, Security Service Chief Ivan Bakanov, and the country's Prosecutor General, citing hundreds of criminal investigations into treason.
More than 60 employees of the Prosecutor's Office and the SBU have remained in the occupied territory working against our state. Such an array of crimes against our national security and the links recorded between Ukrainian security forces and Russian special services raise very serious questions about their respective leaders.
And in the path of Russia's invasion, towns which are finding themselves ever closer to the front line make preparations to evacuate.
Even if fighting stops where they are now and the front line doesn't move, it will be very hard to survive here in winter.
Some of their number have already paid the ultimate price. A 40-year-old local died in recent fighting in Marinka, a town near Donetsk city.
Just days ago, this cheerful 4-year-old was walking from a speech therapy class with her mum. On Sunday, Liza Dmitrieva was buried as her family wept in disbelief. She was killed alongside 23 others in a Russian missile attack on the central Ukrainian city of Vinnytsia, a place considered a safe zone until Thursday. Surrounded by teddy bears and crowned with flowers, the funeral took place without her mother there. She's in an intensive care unit after being severely injured in the blast. It's unclear how much Irina Dmitrieva knows about her daughter's death, but a controversial video was released by a journalist of her sobbing in a hospital bed watching a video of Liza.
Liza and our residents of Vinnytsia and generally kill our Ukrainians. They serve the devil. Eternal hell awaits them because there is no forgiveness for them, and I think they are not capable of repenting before God.
Liza isn't the only child victim of this war, but her funeral is a stark reminder of the brutality of Russia, who increasingly seem to target innocent civilians. The 5 candidates vying to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister have clashed in a heated televised debate. Tax rates and public spending reveal deep divisions within the contenders in the second such event to be aired. It came on the eve of the second round vote among Conservative MPs, which will see the 5 reduced to 4 at the end of the day.
We'll take a short break here, but do remember to head over to euronews.com for all of our top stories.